So we are back with a brand new episode of Walkin' and Talkin' with Tim, and my guest today is Kyle Ruffin. Now, Kyle is the president and one of the founding members of Impact 100 South Jersey, right? You're also a marketing professional as well, but we're gonna stick with Impact 100 today for this interview, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So tell the world, Kyle the world, please tell the world exactly what it is Impact 100 does.
Impact 100 South Jersey is a women's collective giving group where each of our members donates $1,000, and then we pool that money together and give large grants to organizations serving Burlington, Camden, Gloucester, and Cumberland counties.
Nice. And so far you've given away how much money?
So far we've given away over $1 million since we launched in 2017.
A lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money,
and
right?
all one woman at a time, all women from our beloved region of South Jersey.
I love that. So we talked a lot, right? So here we go. So let's start with the fact that you're married, right?
I am.
Your husband, Frederick. I got that right. Frederick, I hear is you're now your personal chef.
Absolutely. It's amazing that I don't weigh like 800 pounds.
Well, hey man, listen, that's a cool thing to have because, you know, a chef, I mean, come on, Frederick, that's awesome. Anyway, shout out to Frederick. And then you said that you went to Delaware University, you're a Blue Hen.
I am.
So you and my wife have that in common. And then we talked a lot about a lot of things, but the one thing I want to talk about is this giving mentality, right? So out of all the things that we spoke about, I think the thing that the word that resonates in my head is giving, and it's about being like-minded and in line with people who want to approach life from a giving mentality. So talk a little bit about how you feel about that. I mean, because I think that's what this is all about, what you're doing.
Well, for me, I've always been attracted to the giving side and the nonprofit side of business. I've had corporate jobs, I've had nonprofit jobs, and I always get the most pleasure when I feel like the elbow grease that I'm putting in is there to help other people.
Yeah.
And I find that there's a lot of women in South Jersey who feel the exact same way. You know, and we have, I think, been able to tap into that feeling of wanting to make a difference, of maybe even seeing themselves as a philanthropist for the first time,
right? Because
they're part of a group that's giving away so much money. We give away $100,000 grants, and these people are seeing a difference that they're making that's greater than what they would have been able to do if they were just to give $1,000 to an organization. So we are really tapping into their desire to make a difference, and their desire to make a difference here in South Jersey. You know, with a
local
community of women who, you know, want to see the South Jersey nonprofits thrive, where the South Jersey nonprofits don't have to compete with the Philadelphia nonprofits or the North Jersey nonprofits, because that's where all the money is, right? So that really has resonated with a lot of our members in that they want to be part of
the decision,
strengthening our nonprofit community here in South Jersey.
But they have some power too, like they have a say in where some of that money goes, right?
Absolutely. We're all volunteers, right. So as I might inadvertently refer to us as an organization, but we're not. We're just a group of women bound together by our love of our region.
One chapter of 65, you said.
Around the world, one chapter of 65. And we are very democratic. So all of our members do all the vetting of the applicants, and go out on site visits and bring to the larger membership the 3 finalists of all the applicants that they felt were worthy of a $100,000 grant.
It's a lot of money.
It absolutely is.
That changes a nonprofit.
Well, we consider our grants to be transformative.
Yeah.
You know, and we're not funding programs. We're funding things that will take the organization to the next level. Things that will allow them to do something that they would love to do, but for the money.
Yeah.
So that tends to have a lasting impact on the organization, and that's why we call them transformative grants. But after our volunteer members go through all of the vetting of the nonprofits, we hold our annual meeting, which is usually in June. All our members come together, they hear from the 3 finalists, and then we vote that night. And that night, somebody finds out who's getting $100,000.
That is why it's called Impact 100.
Absolutely. And the other organizations that are there that night, the other 2 that present, they split whatever we raise over that $100,000.
Yeah.
So all that money, 100% of what we raise, we give out that year. And we are in recruitment period right now. We started at 0. And now we're looking to bring back as many members as we can, but we're also looking to increase that number because we are...
Sign up! Yes,
please. Impact100sj.org. Because we are going to introduce a small grants program.
I was going to bring that up, yeah.
And that the more money we have, the more money we can put back into the organizations that are making a difference here in
the more
South
difference
Jersey.
You can make.
Absolutely.
The more diverse it'll be, right? Because you'll be able to split it up into...
It will be smaller grants to organizations. A lot of organizations maybe run by women or people of color or...
Well, the reality is you can't give everybody $100,000, but yet... Look, if you could give somebody $5,000, that's a lot of money. It doesn't matter, you know?
For some organizations, $5,000 or $10,000 is the difference between whether or not they are alive. Exactly. Yeah. And if they're doing good work, they deserve that money.
100%.
A small organization really does struggle with fundraising, you know, because they're focused on the mission.
Yes.
And it's sometimes hard to focus on both.
And it's a business, and no matter how you look at it. You know, a nonprofit it's a tax designation. It's still a business. You got to keep things moving. You got to keep things going.
You got to pay people. You got to
bills to pay. That's right.
it's
got to pay the rent.
Exactly.
That's good stuff. So we talked about your favorite place to go. Your favorite vacation spot was Montreal, Canada for
Jazz Fest.
Jazz Fest, which I love because everybody that watches this knows how much I love music. So talk to them a little bit about. You know, what that's like for you, because it seems pretty near and dear to your heart.
Well, Montreal is a great city, first of all. Yeah. It feels almost like going to Europe without actually crossing the pond.
That's fun.
And people speak English and French, so that really allows you to feel like you're someplace different.
So it's a place I should go.
It feels like a very cool and hip and safe city. Yeah. But Jazz Fest every year, they close down the streets in downtown, erect stages, and the concerts are all free. So there's like 8 or 9 stages that you can just bounce between and see all kinds of music. And for a week, my husband and I pretend we live there, and that is what we do.
And you gravitate toward what stage?
The blues stage.
Yeah, it's the one.
It's the best.
It's the one I like.
Absolutely.
I'm all about the blues, baby. It's the best. Love the blues.
And blues from all over the world. I mean, you see some acts that you might not have heard of because you're in Canada, but they're just amazing.
But you'd be amazed how many musicians come here from Canada that are amazing, we know.
Right.
We just don't know they're from Canada.
Exactly.
Yeah, we don't bother to check that stuff out. So the other thing I wanted to bring up was your favorite music. Because this one I was not expecting. So your favorite band is?
Dave Matthews Band.
The Dave Matthews Band. Which I find interesting, right? Because no offense, Dave, not that big a fan. Great musician, don't get me wrong. For some reason, I went to one of his concerts and it didn't do it for me.
Sorry. I am sorry. I'm sorry to hear that. Like,
it was a long time ago. It was in the beginning.
I might not give you permission to release this because of what you just said about like my favorite artist.
Trust me, I know a lot of people that love Dave Matthews. I see it all the time. He was just here, right?
In July.
And you were there?
I was there.
That was your last concert?
Every year. I even went to see him out at the Gorge out in Washington State a few years ago, right before the pandemic. And I don't travel to see art or musicians. I'm not like a deadhead, right?
Yeah, right.
But I traveled to go see Dave, and I would travel to go see Dave again.
Very cool. So we talked a lot about pandemic and pandemic PTSD and you know, people, how they're handling workplace now and workplace environments these days and all that good stuff. So what's your take, what's your advice on where you think we're headed, you know, as far as how the workplace is gonna shake out over the next couple of years?
I think that gradually we'll be back to in the office.
Yep.
But I don't think that working at home is gone forever, because there's a generation that has basically decided those are the only jobs they'll take. But also, I think that a lot of companies saw how productivity increased when people were working at home. So that's why they're maybe a little slow to eliminate work at home opportunities. But I still value the in-person experience personally.
Right.
I mean, I just met Tim like 2 hours ago, and I feel like we're like new best friends, you know, and that's not happening over Zoom.
Right. It's not. It's not the same. We had this conversation that if we were having this over Zoom, it would be entirely different than being here with each other and your experience, body language and tone and all that kind of stuff. And
energy travels between people.
It absolutely does.
So you don't get that over Zoom.
And I had this argument with, debate with my friend Ryan Harb, shout out to Ryan Harb, about, you know, work from home. And what we came up with is that there's still road warriors, right? There's still people who are out there we're just road warriors, whether we're in sales or biz dev or whatever you're in, whatever you do, it doesn't really matter, right? Don't you think that's true?
Yes, and I think Harb's one of them.
Harb's definitely one of them. But nobody knows where the hell he is. He's that whole "where's Harb" thing. I know why he has that, because that Lord knows where he is. He's probably at the bar right now. So listen, but so you know, I like that take though, you know, because it's a mixed take, and like we talked about, we have to be accepting of some of these things that we don't even agree with, or we right now maybe don't even think they're right. You know, maybe we just think they don't make any sense. Right. However, they might be right?
For some people, they are right. And if we want to like treat people like individuals, like that's what that's what so many people are asking, right? Yeah. Treat me like an individual. Don't treat me like a little sheep that you're gonna, you know, walk into the pen and treat everybody the same.
Exactly.
So if we value people as individuals, we have to give them choices that work for them. And for a lot of people working at home, particularly if you've got childcare issues or if you are a caregiver of a parent, working at home might be the best option to keep you employed. So I'm wishy-washy.
I'm with you.
I'm on both sides of that fence.
I get it. So if people want to get hold of you and they want to join Impact 100, how do they get hold of you?
You just go to Impact 100 South Jersey, or actually impact100sj.org. We had to save money on the, you know, the URL. But impact100sj.org, or if you want to send us an email, info@impact100sj.org. Those emails come directly to me. So I am more than happy to discuss the various ways that women can get involved with Impact 100. We are very proud of what we have achieved as volunteers, and we just want to do more of it. So join us, please, and men. Sponsor your wives. Sponsor your
wives, your friends, your cousins, your sisters, everybody.
And sponsor Impact 100. We accept sponsorship. So please, there's a little bit for everybody.
Amen. Well, thanks for being on. Appreciate this.
Thanks for having me.
We had a great conversation. And to all of you out there watching and following along, keep watching, keep moving. Follow me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you name it. I'm on all of it, particularly YouTube right now. And we will see you next time on Walkin' and Talkin' with Tim. See you.